Princess Zara, came a warm voice over the communication system. We have waited so long for your return. Admiral Thane, Zara said happily. You're alive. Many of us are alive, Your Majesty. We scattered to the far reaches of space when the worlds fell, but we never forgot our true queen. Jake watched in amazement as ship after ship appeared, hundreds of them, filled with Cathara people who had been hiding for years, waiting for this moment. What about your uncle? Jake asked. Vorth's rule is finished, Zara said confidently. When the people see that the true royal bloodline lives, they will abandon him. No one follows a traitor when they have a real leader to follow. Admiral Thane's voice came again. Your Majesty, we have prepared the flagship for your arrival. Your coronation can begin immediately. Thank you, Admiral, Zara replied. But first, I have someone very important to introduce to you all. She turned to Jake. This is Captain Jake Miller, the human who saved my life. He will be honored as a hero of the Kithra people. Jake felt embarrassed. Zara, I didn't do anything special. I just gave you some food. You gave me hope. Jake, and hope was exactly what I needed to find the strength to reclaim my destiny. Over the following hours, Jake watched as the Cathara fleet grew larger and larger. Ships arrived from every corner of the galaxy, their crews eager to serve their returned princess. But Zara insisted on one thing. Jake's cargo ship would fly beside the flagship as an honored vessel of the royal fleet. You don't have to do this, Jake told her as they prepared to leave for Kithara space. I don't need rewards or titles. I know you don't need them, Zara said, smiling. That's exactly why you deserve them. Besides, someone has to make sure the new Kithara queen remembers what it means to be kind. Jake laughed. I think you remember just fine. Only because a good human showed me, Zara replied. 6 months later, Jake stood on the bridge of a rebuilt Kithara homeworld, watching Queen Zara address her people. She had united the scattered colonies, defeated Uncle Vorth without a single battle, and restored her people's place in the galaxy. But she had also done something else. She had created new laws that protected outcasts and refugees throughout Kithara space. No one would ever be cast out for being different again. So what's next for you? Zara asked Jake after her speech. I'm still a traitor, Jake said. But now I have the best business partner in the galaxy. Business partner? Jake grinned. The Cathara Trading Company needs someone who knows how to deal with other species. Someone who understands that the best deals are made with kindness, not force. Zara laughed. I like that idea. From that day forward, Jake never traveled alone. And whenever someone asked how a simple human trader became best friend to the most powerful warrior queen in the galaxy, he would smile and say, it all started with a single ration pack and choosing to be kind when no one was watching. Sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can change the entire universe. And in a galaxy full of wars and conflicts, the friendship between a human trader and an alien queen became a symbol that different species could work together, if they just remembered to see each other as people deserving of kindness. The outcast princess had found her throne. The poor trader had found his purpose, and both had learned that sometimes the most powerful force in the universe is simply choosing to care about someone else. A new voice came over the ship's communication system. It was deep and powerful, speaking in a language Jake didn't understand. Then it switched to Universal Common. Attention, human vessel. You are harboring Zara Kithani, the lost princess of our people. Return her to us immediately. Jake looked back at Zara in shock. Princess? Zara nodded weakly. My father was the king. When our worlds were destroyed, I was supposed to die with him, but I escaped. I've been hiding for 5 years. Why didn't you go back to your people? Because my Uncle Vorth took the throne, Zara said, and Jake could hear anger in her weak voice. He's the one who told the other races where to find our worlds. He betrayed us for power. The Kithara voice came again. You have 1 hour to surrender the princess, human. If you refuse, we will take her by force. Jake looked at the scanner. 5 massive warships against his little cargo vessel. Even with Zara's powers, they couldn't fight that many ships. But then Jake looked at Zara, lying weak and pale on the medical bed, and he realized something important. They're not here to rescue you, Jake said. They're here to kill you. Zara nodded sadly. Vorth can't let me live. As long as I'm alive, The real Kithara people might remember that he's a traitor. They might follow me instead of him. So what do we do? Jake asked. Zara tried to sit up again. I still have some power left. Enough for one last fight. I can bond with your ship again and maybe we can... No, Jake said firmly. Jake, it's the only way. No, Jake repeated. I won't let you kill yourself to save me. There has to be another way. Zara looked at him with surprise. But Jake, if you don't give me to them, they'll destroy your ship. You'll die. Then we'll both die, Jake said. But we'll die as friends, not as people who gave up on each other. Tears formed in Zara's glowing eyes. Why would you do that for me? You barely know me, Jake smiled. I know enough. I know you're brave. I know you're kind. And I know that the galaxy needs people like you in it, not people like your uncle. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Jake's face lit up with an idea. Zara, you said your uncle betrayed your people to the other races, right? Yes, but do you have proof? I recorded his secret meetings before I escaped. But Jake, that was years ago. The evidence is on my father's ship hidden in the old system. Jake grinned. Then we don't fight them. We outsmart them. 30 minutes later, Jake opened a communication channel to the Kythera ships. This is Captain Jake Miller, he said formally. I'm willing to return Princess Zara to her people. Zara looked at him with shock and hurt, but Jake winked at her. However, Jake continued, as a neutral trader, I require proof that you have legal authority to take her. I need to see the official records of succession. There was a long pause. Then the Kythera voice came back, sounding annoyed. We do not need to prove anything to a human. Actually, you do, Jake said calmly. According to galactic trade law, any transfer of royal persons requires proper documentation. I'm sure you have it, right? Another long pause. Prepare to be boarded, human. We will take the princess by force. Go ahead, Jake said. But I've already sent a message to the Galactic Trade Commission. If anything happens to me, they'll investigate. And if they find out you're not the legal government of the Kythera people... Jake let the threat hang in the air. You're bluffing, came the voice. Try me, Jake said. An hour passed. Then 2 hours. The Kythera ships stayed in position, but they didn't attack. Finally, Zara understood Jake's plan. They can't produce the legal documents, she said, smiling for the first time since Jake had found her. Because Vorth isn't the legal king. He took power by force. And if they attack us now, Jake added, they'll prove to the galaxy that they're not a legitimate government. The communication system crackled to life one more time. This is not over, human, came the angry voice. We will find another way. One by one, the 5 massive ships jumped back into hyperspace. Jake and Zara were alone again. You did it, Zara said, her eyes growing brighter. You saved us both without fighting. We're not safe yet, Jake said. They'll be back. But at least now we have time to plan. Zara struggled to sit up on the medical bed. Jake, there's something else. The medical scanner found something when it was examining me. Jake looked at the scanner display. Among all the alien readings was something that made his heart stop. Hidden markings under Zara's skin, royal markings that proved exactly who she was. But there was something else. Something that changed everything Jake thought he knew about the girl he had saved with a ration pack. The truth about Zara's identity would shake the entire galaxy. Jake stared at the medical scanner in disbelief. Under Zara's silver skin, glowing symbols were becoming visible. They looked like writing, but not like any language Jake had ever seen. What are those marks? Jake asked. Zara looked at the scanner display and gasped. Royal bloodline markers, she whispered. They only appear when a Kythera royal is near death or... She paused, her ocean blue eyes growing wide. Or what? Or when they're ready to claim their true power, Zara finished. The symbols under her skin grew brighter. Suddenly, Zara didn't look weak anymore. She sat up on the medical bed, and Jake could feel energy filling the room. Jake, Zara said, her voice stronger than he had ever heard it. I need to tell you the complete truth about who I really am and why that ration pack you gave me changed everything. Jake sat down, sensing that what she was about to tell him was important. I am Princess Zara Kithani, she began. But I'm not just any princess. I'm the last pure-blood royal of my people. The only one who can challenge my uncle's claim to the throne. What makes you different from other royals? Jake asked. Zara stood up, and the medical equipment around her began to glow softly. Pure-blood Cathara royals don't just bond with machines, Jake. We can bond with anything. Ships, stations, entire fleets. We can connect to the old networks that controlled our civilization. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. How powerful are we talking about? My ancestors could control 1,000 ships at once. They could make dead planets come back to life. They could... Zara paused, looking sad. They could have saved our people if they hadn't been betrayed. By your uncle. Yes. Vorth knew that the other races feared our power. So he made a deal with them. He would help them destroy the royal bloodline. And in return, they would let him rule over what was left of our people. Jake shook his head angrily. He sold out his own family for power. But he made one mistake, Zara continued, her eyes beginning to glow brighter. He thought I was dead. For 5 years, I've been hiding, growing stronger, waiting for the right moment to take back what belongs to my people. And that moment is now, Zara nodded. But I couldn't do it alone. I needed someone I could trust completely, someone who would help me not for money or power, but because it was the right thing to do. Jake looked at her with understanding. The ration pack. When you gave me that food, Jake, you proved something to me. You showed me that there are still good people in the galaxy, people who help others without expecting anything back. The ship's communication system suddenly came to life. But this time, it wasn't the angry voice of Uncle Vorth. It was different voices, speaking in the Kithara language. What are they saying? Jake asked. Zara listened carefully, tears forming in her glowing eyes. They're my people, Jake. The real Kithara who have been hiding in secret colonies throughout the galaxy. They felt my royal markers activate. They know I'm alive. More voices joined in, and Jake could hear the excitement and hope in their alien words. They're saying they never believed I was dead, Zara translated. They've been waiting for me to return and lead them home. Home? To reclaim our lost worlds, Jake. To rebuild our civilization and take our place in the galaxy again. Jake felt happy for Zara, but also sad. I guess this means goodbye. Zara looked at him with surprise. Goodbye? Jake, do you think I would leave the person who saved my life? Who showed me that kindness still exists? Before Jake could answer, dozens of ships began dropping out of hyperspace around them. But these weren't warships like Uncle Vorth's fleet. These were colony ships, science vessels, and exploration craft. The hidden Cathara people coming home to their princess. The pirate ships moved closer. Jake could see their weapon systems charging up, ready to fire. Jake, Zara said, and when he looked at her, her ocean blue eyes seemed to glow in the flashing red light. There's something else I didn't tell you about my abilities. What? Jake asked. My people weren't just afraid of my danger sense, Zara said, standing up straighter. They were afraid of what I could do when the danger actually came. Just as Jake was about to ask what she meant, his ship's communication system crackled to life. Attention, cargo ship, came a rough, mean voice. This is Captain Vex of the Crimson Raiders. You will surrender your vessel immediately, or we will destroy you. Jake looked at Zara. Her eyes were definitely glowing now, bright blue like stars. They've been hunting you since the station, she whispered, and Jake could hear something new in her voice, something powerful and dangerous. But they don't know they caught more than they bargained for. The pirate captain's voice came again. You have 30 seconds to surrender, human. Then we start shooting. Jake realized that the alien outcast hiding in his cargo hold might be his only hope. But looking at the way her eyes glowed, and the way the air around her seemed to hum with energy, Jake wondered if he really knew who, or what, Zara actually was. The attack surrounded by pirates with nowhere to run. Jake realized the alien outcast might be his only hope. 20 seconds, human. The pirate captain's voice boomed through the ship's speakers. Surrender now or become space dust. Jake's hands shook as he looked at his ship's pathetic weapons system. 2 small plasma cannons against 3 massive pirate vessels. It would be like fighting a dragon with a toothpick. Jake, Zara said softly. Her glowing blue eyes were fixed on the scanner display. I need to tell you something about my people. Can it wait? Jake asked, sweat dripping down his face. We're about to die here. That's exactly why I need to tell you now, Zara said. She stepped closer to the control panel, and Jake noticed something strange. The ship's lights seemed to get brighter wherever she walked. My people are called the Kithara, Zara continued. We were warriors. Guardians of the old galaxy before the Great Wars. Were? Jake asked. Everyone thinks we're extinct, Zara said sadly. The other races destroyed our worlds because they feared our power. They hunted us down one by one. The pirate captain's voice came again. 10 seconds, human. What power? Jake asked desperately. Zara placed her hands on the ship's control console. Immediately, all the displays lit up brighter than Jake had ever seen them. We could bond with machines, Zara said. Control them with our minds. Make them do things they were never designed to do. Jake stared at her in shock. You can control my ship? Not just control it, Zara said, her eyes growing brighter. I can make it fight. The countdown reached 0. Time's up, human. The pirate captain roared. Attack! The 3 pirate ships opened fire at the same time. Dozens of red laser beams streaked toward Jake's small cargo vessel. But something impossible happened. Jake's ship moved like it was alive. It twisted and spun through space, dodging every single laser blast. The old cargo ship moved faster and smoother than it had ever moved before. How are you doing this? Jake asked in amazement. I'm not just controlling your ship, Zara said, her voice sounding different now. Stronger, more confident. I'm becoming part of it. I can feel every system, every circuit, every weapon. The pirates fired again, but Jake's ship was already somewhere else, dancing through space like a leaf in the wind. Impossible! Came the pirate captain's angry voice. It's just a cargo ship. Destroy it! Jake, Zara said, your ship has more weapons than you know about. The previous owner hid military-grade systems throughout the hull. Jake looked at his weapon display in shock. New icons were appearing. Systems he had never seen before. Hidden plasma cannons, missile launchers, even an energy shield generator. My ship was owned by smugglers, Jake realized. Very smart smugglers, Zara said with a small smile. Hold on. Suddenly, Jake's cargo ship stopped running and turned to face the pirates. The hidden weapon systems came online one by one. Now we fight back, Zara said. The first pirate ship fired a massive barrage of missiles. Zara made Jake's ship spin upward over the missiles, then dive down behind the pirate vessel. The hidden plasma cannons opened fire, hitting the pirate ship's engines. The second pirate ship tried to ram them, but Zara saw it coming before the pirates even decided to do it. Jake's ship slipped sideways, and the pirates crashed into their own ally. She's reading their minds, Jake whispered to himself. Not minds, Zara said, hearing him. Ships, every machine has a pattern, a rhythm. I can feel what they're going to do before they do it. The third pirate ship, the biggest one, came at them with all weapons firing. This time there were too many laser beams to dodge. Shields up, Zara said calmly. A blue energy field surrounded Jake's ship. The pirate lasers hit the shield and scattered like rain on a window. We've got them now, Jake said excitedly. But then he looked at Zara and felt his heart stop. Blood was running from her nose. Her silver skin was getting paler and her hands were shaking. Zara, are you okay? Using this much power, she said weakly. It's burning me up inside. I can't keep this up much longer. The pirate captain's voice came over the radio again, but now he sounded scared. What are you? No cargo ship can do this. We're going to end this now, Zara said. She was breathing hard, but her eyes burned brighter than ever. Jake's ship suddenly shot forward, faster than anything Jake had ever experienced. They flew straight at the biggest pirate vessel. Are you crazy? Jake shouted. We'll crash. Trust me, Zara said. At the last second, Jake's ship spun around the pirate vessel, firing every weapon at once. The pirate ship's shields failed, then its engines exploded. The other 2 pirate ships, damaged and confused, tried to escape. Let them go, Jake said. We won, but Zara didn't answer. She was slumping against the control panel, her glowing eyes starting to dim. Zara, she looked up at him weakly. Jake, using my powers like this, it's killing me. My people learned long ago that bonding with machines burns through our life force. Jake felt panic rise in his chest. How long do you have? I don't know, Zara whispered. Maybe hours, maybe minutes. Jake looked at the fleeing pirate ships, then back at Zara. They had won the battle, but at what cost? There has to be a way to save you, Jake said desperately. Zara smiled sadly. You already saved me, Jake. You showed me kindness when no one else would. You gave me a reason to use my power for good instead of just surviving. She closed her eyes, and Jake could see her getting weaker. But Jake, she whispered, there's something important I need to tell you. About why those pirates were really hunting your ship, and about who I really am. Before Jake could ask what she meant, Zara collapsed unconscious on the floor of his cargo hold. As Jake carried her to the medical bay, he discovered something that would change everything he thought he knew about the girl he had saved with a simple ration pack. The sacrifice, with Zara dying from using her powers, Jake faced an impossible choice. Jake carried Zara's weak body to the medical bay, her silver skin cold against his arms. The ship's medical scanner beeped frantically as it tried to understand her alien biology. Critical life signs, the computer announced. Unknown species. Unable to recommend treatment, Jake felt helpless. He was just a trader, not a doctor. And even if he was a doctor, how could he save someone from a species he had never seen before? Zara's eyes opened slowly. They were still glowing, but much weaker now, like dying stars. Jake, she whispered, I need to tell you about the pirates. Rest, Jake said, adjusting the medical bed. You can tell me later. No, Zara said, trying to sit up. There might not be a later. Listen to me. Jake sat down beside her, holding her cold hand. Those pirates weren't random, Zara continued weakly. They were hired. Someone paid them to hunt your ship specifically. But why? Jake asked. I'm nobody. I don't have anything valuable. Zara's eyes grew sad. Because of me. They were hunting me, Jake, and I led them straight to you. Jake felt confused. How could they know you were on my ship? You were hiding. Because, Zara said, closing her eyes in pain, I'm not just any Cathara survivor. I'm someone very important to my people. Someone who was supposed to be dead. Before Jake could ask more questions, the ship's alarm started screaming again. Warning, the computer announced. 5 ships approaching. Massive energy signatures detected. Jake ran to the scanner display. 5 enormous vessels were dropping out of hyperspace around his ship. These weren't pirates. These ships were 3 times bigger than anything Jake had ever seen. Zara, Jake called back to the medical bay. We have company. Big company. I know, Zara said weakly. I can feel them. They're Kithra ships. Jake's heart stopped. Your people? But I thought they were extinct. We let everyone believe that, Zara said. It was safer to hide than to fight the entire galaxy. The trade captain, Jake Miller, never thought a simple ration pack would change his life forever. The cold metal floors of Nexus 7 space station echoed with the sound of his worn boots. Jake walked slowly through the busy trading market, checking his empty pockets for the 3rd time. 2 credits. That was all he had left in the entire galaxy. His old cargo ship needed fuel. His food supplies were almost gone, and the rent for his docking bay was due tomorrow. Jake was a human trader, but he was not a very successful one. The alien marketplace was full of strange creatures from dozens of different worlds. Tall blue Zentari merchants sold glowing crystals. 4-armed Vex traders offered rare spices that smelled like homeworlds Jake had never seen. Everyone seemed to have money except him. Jake stopped at a food vendor and looked at the prices. Even the cheapest meal cost 5 credits. His stomach made a hungry sound, but he ignored it. He had been hungry before. That's when he heard the shouting. Get away from here, freak! A large Gorvan trader yelled. The bear-like alien kicked at something near the corner of his stall. Jake turned to see what was happening. On the ground near some old cargo boxes sat a small figure. At first, Jake thought it was a child. Then he looked closer. It was an alien girl, but not like any species Jake had ever seen. She had pale silver skin that seemed to shine in the station's lights. Her hair was white as stars, and her eyes were the color of deep ocean water. She looked young, maybe 20 in human years. But something was wrong with this picture. The girl was thin, too thin. Her clothes were torn and dirty. There were bruises on her arms. And the way she sat, curled up small against the wall, told Jake she was afraid. I said, move! The Gorvan shouted again. He picked up a piece of fruit and threw it at the girl. It hit her shoulder and she flinched but didn't run away. Other aliens walked past. Some stared. Most ignored her completely. A few even laughed. Jake felt something twist in his stomach, and it wasn't hunger this time. He had seen this before back on Earth. People treating others badly just because they were different. Just because they had no power to fight back. The girl's ocean blue eyes met his for just a moment. In that look, Jake saw something that made his chest hurt. She wasn't angry or hateful. She was just hopeless, like she had given up on the idea that anyone would ever be kind to her. Jake's hand went to his pocket. Inside was his last ration pack, a small metal container with enough food for one meal. It was supposed to be his dinner. He looked at the girl again. When was the last time she had eaten anything? Before he could change his mind, Jake walked over to the corner where she sat. "Hey," he said softly. The girl looked up, surprised. Most people didn't talk to her, Jake realized. They just pretended she didn't exist. "You hungry?" Jake asked. Her eyes grew wide. She nodded slowly, like she was afraid this might be some kind of cruel joke. Jake pulled the ration pack from his pocket. It wasn't much. Just basic protein and vitamins pressed into bars. But it was food. "Here," he said, holding it out to her. The girl stared at the ration pack like it was made of gold. "Why?" she whispered. Her voice was soft and musical, but Jake could hear the confusion in it. Jake shrugged. "Because everyone gets hungry, and nobody should have to be hungry alone." Slowly, carefully, the girl reached out and took the ration pack. Her fingers were cold when they briefly touched Jake's hand. "Thank you," she said, and Jake could see tears starting to form in her ocean blue eyes. The Gorvan trader had been watching this whole time. He laughed, a mean sound. "Stupid human," he said loudly so others could hear. "Trading good food for nothing. That freak can't pay you back." Jake felt his face get hot, but not from embarrassment. He was angry. "I wasn't looking for payment," Jake said, loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Some things you do just because they're right." The girl looked up at Jake like he had just performed a miracle. But Jake didn't feel like a hero. He felt like he had done the most basic thing any decent person should do. Help someone who needed help. "What's your name?" Jake asked. "Zara," she said quietly. "I'm Jake. Nice to meet you, Zara." For the first time since Jake had noticed her, Zara smiled. It was small, but it was real. Jake nodded goodbye and started walking back toward his ship. He had business to take care of and no food for dinner, but somehow he felt better than he had in weeks. Behind him, he didn't notice Zara watching him go. He didn't see her stand up and quietly follow him at a distance. And he definitely didn't see her slip aboard his cargo ship just before the doors closed. As Jake's ship jumped to hyperspace the next morning, he had no idea that the Outcast alien was hiding in his cargo hold. And he had no idea that pirates were already tracking his route. The simple act of kindness was about to change both of their lives in ways Jake could never imagine. The stowaway 3 days into deep space, Jake discovered he wasn't alone on his ship. Jake was checking his cargo hold when he heard it, a soft sound, like someone trying not to breathe too loud. His hand moved slowly to the plasma pistol on his belt. Pirates sometimes hid stowaways on ships to steal them from the inside. "I know you're in here," Jake called out. "Come out now and nobody gets hurt." Silence. Jake moved between the cargo boxes, his weapon ready. The lights in the hold were dim, creating long shadows everywhere. Perfect places to hide. Then he saw her. Zara was curled up behind a stack of supply containers, trying to make herself as small as possible. Her silver skin was even paler than before, and she looked sick. "You," Jake said, lowering his weapon. "What are you doing on my ship?" Zara flinched at his voice. She expected him to be angry. Most people were angry when they found her anywhere. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean to. She couldn't finish the sentence. How could she explain? That she had nowhere else to go? That his simple kindness on the station was the first good thing that had happened to her in months? Jake looked at her more closely. She was shaking and not from the cold. The ration pack he had given her was empty beside her, but it had been 3 days. "She must be hungry again. How long have you been here?" Jake asked. Since your ship left the station," Zara said quietly. Jake felt a mix of emotions. Anger because stowaways were dangerous and illegal. Worry because feeding another person would use up his supplies faster. but also something else. Sadness for this girl who was so desperate that hiding on a stranger's ship seemed like her best option. "Why?" Jake asked, sitting down on a cargo box so he wouldn't seem so tall and threatening. "Why did you follow me?" Zara was quiet for a long moment. When she finally spoke, her voice was so soft Jake had to lean forward to hear her. "You were kind to me," she said. "Nobody has been kind to me for a very long time. I thought maybe if I stayed near you I could remember what it felt like, to not be hated." Jake felt that twisting feeling in his stomach again. This girl, Zara, she had been hurt so badly that a single act of kindness felt like a miracle to her. "Where are you from?" Jake asked gently. "Far away," Zara said. "My people, they cast me out, said I was cursed, said bad things happened wherever I went." "What kind of bad things?" Zara looked up at him with those ocean blue eyes. "I can feel things before they happen. Dangerous things. My people thought it meant I brought the danger with me." Jake frowned. "You can sense danger?" "Yes," Zara said, nodding. "It's like a cold feeling in my mind. It gets stronger when something bad is coming closer." Jake thought about this. Some alien species had strange abilities. Maybe Zara's people had thrown her out because they were afraid of what they didn't understand. "Are you sensing any danger now?" Jake asked. Zara was quiet for a moment, like she was listening to something Jake couldn't hear. "Yes," she said, and her voice suddenly sounded afraid. "Something bad is coming, very bad. It's been following us since we left the station." Jake looked at his scanner display on the wall. It showed empty space in all directions. "I don't see anything on sensors," Jake said. "It's there," Zara insisted, and Jake could see real fear in her eyes now. "3 ships, big ones. They've been tracking us, staying just far enough away that your machines can't see them." "That's impossible," Jake said. "My sensors would pick up any ships within." Zara suddenly stood up, her whole body tense like she had been hit by lightning. "They're coming now," she whispered. "They're coming fast." Jake was about to tell her that she was imagining things when his ship's alarm started screaming. Red lights flashed throughout the cargo hold. The ship's computer spoke in its calm, mechanical voice. "Warning, 3 unknown vessels approaching. Warning, weapon signatures detected." Jake's blood turned cold. He ran to the scanner display and watched in horror as 3 large shapes appeared on his screen, dropping out of hyperspace around his ship. Pirates. Jake's hands flew over the control panel, but he already knew it was hopeless. His old cargo ship was no match for 3 pirate vessels. He couldn't outrun them. He couldn't outfight them. They were trapped. "How did you know?" Jake asked Zara, but his voice sounded far away even to himself. "I tried to warn you," Zara said. Her voice was different now, stronger. "They've been hunting you since the station. Someone paid them to track your ship."